If you're a highly sensitive person and you're overwhelmed and stressed out by life's demands, keep watching to find out several ways you can start to reclaim your peace and sanity today. Let's start by evaluating the connections that you are closest to at the moment. How do they make you feel? If people are making you feel drained, stressed, and unsafe, then they're not going to be good for your mental or physical health. So, as a highly sensitive person, you may find that you start to absorb the emotions of the people around you. You can feel their pain, you can feel their stress, you can feel their anger and sadness. So, if a person is always making you feel like you need some time to yourself to get your energy back, or like you want to cry after seeing them, whether it's through the way they're treating you or the way they always feel about themselves, then maybe this is a chance for you to step back a little bit. And the more that you can let go of the connections that aren't truly aligned for your highest good, the more it makes space for those who truly are aligned to come into your life. And next up is our work and our hobbies. So they tend to be things that take up a lot of time in our day. Think about the job you currently have. Is it something that you enjoy and that feels good for you and for your nervous system? And what about your hobbies? If you think about how much time you spend on your hobbies, how much time is that and how is it making you feel? So, for instance, a person may think, oh, I don't really have any hobbies, but they will spend hours on their mobile phone doom scrolling through social media. If they're looking through things like other people's lives and news and just scrolling, like, what is everyone else doing and comparing their own life, that's not going to feel very good to the body, to the nervous system. So it would be really interesting to find out, how much time do you spend on these things, and do they make you feel uplifted or do they drain you? As a sensitive, we are so much more aware of things in our environment, the people around us, the energies, and we can very easily be affected by those things, whether for the better or the worse. An example for me is I used to watch a soap, and it was something that I was very familiar from childhood, and it was actually very depressing. And I saw some funny parts to it. So I would watch it a few years ago, and I was thinking, like, it's depressing, but there's also so many ridiculous things about it that it's quite funny. But I actually realized that it was actually doing my body more harm than good, because all of those stressful storylines and scenarios, they're just not good for the mind and the body and the energy to be thinking about. So, is there something like that that's resonating for you in your daily routine that maybe could be something you could switch up, something that's going to bring you more joy and inspiration instead of sadness? And going back to other people and how things make us feel as a sensitive, what about your feeling of responsibility towards others? So, for instance, I used to feel like I had to give all of my time and energy and support to everyone around me who was close to me. And some people were grateful for it, and other people weren't grateful, and they weren't yet ready or willing to help themselves out of the pain that they were suffering. They just wanted to drag me down into that suffering with them. And it did actually affect me so badly. I would be feeling the same emotions as them. It would affect me when I wasn't meeting up with them. I was feeling drained and stressed and so just tired. So really, we can only be responsible for our own emotions. And obviously, I'm not saying to go and be nasty to people, because we should always consider other people's feelings. But at the same time, as long as we're doing things with pure and kind intentions, how another person responds to our words and our actions is their own responsibility. You are not responsible for how other people react. So, for instance, if you give someone a compliment and you genuinely mean it and they take it in a negative way, that's not on you. That's not your responsibility. That's something within them that's getting triggered that maybe at some point they might want to work on, but it's not for you to heal, and it's not for you to feel responsible for their emotions. So, this is something you can give yourself permission to let go of straight away. And this is something I wish I'd learned so long ago. Another thing to let go of as a highly sensitive person is expectations, both for yourself and other people's expectations of you. So, for instance, does someone expect you to do a certain job and you don't want to do it, and you do the job because they think you should do it and you don't enjoy it at all and you just feel trapped and depressed? Or maybe you set yourself really high expectations and you, for instance, have lists of things to do, and then you just feel really mentally overwhelmed because you're not doing them and it's just too much. I used to do that. I used to collect lists of things to do. I used to collect folders of things to research, stuff I thought I should be doing. And then I would accumulate it so much, like these sort of squirrel hordes of information to research and things to do. And it would just become really overwhelming and it would make me want to run away and avoid all of it. So, do you have anything like that you've been putting aside and maybe you've been meaning to do for years? If it's something you've been meaning to do for a year or more, then it may be time to reconsider it and maybe just let it go. What about all of these things that you felt you should do? Research you've put aside, books you've put aside to read and learn, lists of stuff to do. Just go through it and think about, or not actually, don't think. Go through it and notice how each item makes you feel. Does it feel exciting and aligned and uplifting, like something you feel your soul wants to do? Or does it feel heavy and draining and like a chore and like it's not really aligned for your highest good? Maybe it's time to let go of all of that. We have the blessing of the internet at this point in history, and we can just search online for anything we want to at any time. So we don't need to have all of these things hanging over us like a cloud of heavy expectation. And then lastly, going on from things like paper lists and digital clutter is physical clutter around your home. Do you have piles of things, again, that you want to sort out, or things that you think might be useful for one day and you haven't used them in years or even decades? Really start to consider how these things make you feel. There's a wonderful lady called Marie Kondo, and she does decluttering. She's like a decluttering expert, and she talks about sorting all of our belongings into piles of clothing and books and miscellaneous and paperwork and sentimental, and then going through each pile and considering about each item. Does this spark joy? And to do this is so empowering because we end up with things that maybe people have given us years ago and they don't really resonate for us, but we feel we should keep them. And clothes. Did you know that the majority of people have only 20% of their wardrobe that they actually wear, and the other 80% they do not wear? So if you think about all of these things that are just in the way, it starts to become draining, tiring, confusing. If you know about feng shui, it's about aligning your rooms and your belongings so that there is a peaceful flow of energy around the rooms and around your home. And that includes decluttering, to let go of the things that are like an obstacle course, not just physically, but mentally. For 3 or 4 years, I had a sewing machine put to one side. For that long, I intended to learn how to use it, learn how to sew my own garments. The idea of it was wonderful. You know, I can get any fabric, any pattern, and I can just make whatever I want. But the actual reality was very different, and it's time consuming, and it takes time to learn and get good at. Obviously, any kind of craft will take time to learn and get good at, but you've got to also enjoy the actual craft when you're doing it. So I love the idea of coming up with concepts of making a garment, and I love the idea of wearing a garment when it's finished, but not the actual construction of it. So in the end, I decided this is stressing me out to keep this thing that I keep intending to do and I don't do. So I'm going to donate it or sell it. So that can be a quick way to make some money as well. If you've got things that are piling up and you're not using them, and it's not something you love and it's not something you use, then maybe you can donate it so someone else can use it. or you can sell it and make some money. So the main point of this video is to start letting go. Let go of what doesn't serve you. Let go of what's not for your highest good. Let go of what does not feel right. And you can start to make more space and honor your feelings as a highly sensitive person. So if any of this has resonated, I'd love to hear which thing you might change up today. And if you liking this content, please do like or subscribe, and I'll see you next time.